I've been on this earth long enough to watch entire chapters of life come and go, long enough to see faces fade from photographs and names turn into stories people tell in past tense. I'm 94 years old, and if you're expecting me to say the secret to staying alive is kale smoothies or running marathons, you can stop listening right now. That's not it. Not even close. The truth is this. A long life isn't built by adding more and more things to your routine. It's built by subtraction, by learning what to put down, what to walk away from, what to stop feeding, whether that thing lives on your plate, in your head, or inside your heart. I've buried more people than I care to count. My parents gone. 3 sisters gone. The man I shared my life with for decades gone. I've stood beside so many graves that at some point I stopped asking why them and not me and started asking what made the difference. It wasn't fate, it wasn't luck, and it surely wasn't perfect genes. It was habits. The people who left early almost always carried something they refused to release, something they defended, something they said, "This is just how I am." And little by little, that something took them apart. I didn't come to these realizations all at once. Wisdom doesn't arrive with trumpets. It sneaks in quietly, usually after you've paid for ignorance with pain. What I'm about to share are 7 things I let go of over the years. Not 7 tricks, not 7 hacks. 7 stops. And one of them might be draining you right now without you even realizing it. The first thing I stopped was eating late in the evening. I know how harmless it sounds. A small snack, a bowl of something warm while the house is quiet. I did it for years. Dinner, then a little something while watching television. Crackers, a spoonful of ice cream. Nothing that felt like a crime. But I noticed changes. I woke up feeling like I hadn't rested at all. My body felt stiff before the day even started. My mind felt foggy, like I was dragging yesterday into today. Back then, I brushed it off. I was busy. I was getting older. That's what I told myself. Then I remembered something my grandmother used to say when I was a child. She believed nighttime was sacred. She said the body needed darkness and stillness to mend itself. You can't scrub the floors, she'd say, if you're still cooking supper. It took me decades to understand that wisdom. One day I decided to stop. No food once the evening settled in. My last bite came before sunset, sometimes a little later in summer when the light lingered, but never right before bed. After that, just water or plain tea. The difference shocked me. Within weeks, I woke up lighter, not just in body but in spirit. My sleep deepened. My mornings felt clean, like a fresh page instead of a continuation of yesterday's mess. I realized my body had been begging for quiet time, and I'd finally listened. The second thing I stopped was arguing with people who didn't want to understand. I used to think speaking up meant speaking louder. If someone said something wrong, I felt it was my duty to correct them. If they were stubborn, I became more determined. I argued at dinner tables, in grocery lines, with relatives, with strangers. I told myself I was standing for truth. What I was really doing was borrowing trouble. Those arguments never ended the way I imagined. No one thanked me for enlightening them. No one changed their mind. What did change was my blood pressure, my mood, and my ability to sleep at night. I carried conversations around in my head long after they ended, replaying what I should have said, what I should have added. One day, it hit me. I was trying to educate people who weren't enrolled in my class. Now, when someone says something foolish or cruel or ignorant, I don't take the bait. I don't need to win. I don't need to teach. I smile politely and let the moment pass. Peace is worth far more than being right. Protecting your calm isn't weakness, it's survival. Every argument you walk away from is energy you keep. And energy once gone is hard to get back. The third thing I stopped was sitting still for most of the day. I've never been one for formal exercise, no gyms, no fancy routines. But I learned early that stillness, when it lasts too long, becomes decay. My husband spent his later years in a recliner that seemed to swallow him whole. Morning to night, barely moving except to eat or sleep. I begged him to get up, to walk with me, to stretch his legs. He laughed it off, said he'd earned his rest. He was gone before 72. I don't sit unless I need to. I stand when I talk on the phone. I walk to the mailbox. I tend to whatever plants I have nearby. I move dishes, fold laundry, sweep floors. Nothing impressive, just motion. A body needs flow. Like water in a stream, it stays healthy when it moves. When it stagnates, things rot. I don't care how old you are. If your days are mostly spent sitting, you're quietly giving time back to the earth sooner than necessary. The fourth thing I stopped was carrying old wounds. This one nearly finished me. I had a younger sister who betrayed me in a way that cut deep. The kind of hurt that rearranges your trust forever. I didn't speak to her for years. I told myself I was standing my ground, that I had dignity. What I really had was a stone lodged in my chest. While I replayed the pain over and over, she lived her life, slept peacefully, laughed, loved. Meanwhile, my stomach stayed in knots, my shoulders tight, my heart heavy. One afternoon, exhausted by my own bitterness, I picked up the phone. I didn't explain. I didn't accuse. I simply said I was letting it go. We both cried. Then we moved on. Holding resentment doesn't punish the person who hurt you. It poisons the one who holds it. Stress settles into your body like a tenant who never pays rent. It strains your heart, your digestion, your thoughts. Forgiveness isn't forgetting. It's choosing not to bleed every day from an old wound. The fifth thing I stopped was filling my mind with chaos before sleep. I used to watch the news every night, fires, crimes, arguments, disasters. I thought staying informed made me responsible. Then I wondered why I couldn't rest. Your mind doesn't know the difference between danger outside your door and danger on a screen. It reacts the same way. Fear tightens it, anger agitates it, and then you expect it to relax? Now, evenings are quiet. I turn the television off early. I read. I sit outside. I watch the sky change colors. I let my thoughts settle before I ask my body to sleep. Rest begins long before your head hits the pillow. The sixth thing I stopped was trying to be everything for everyone. For years, I believed love meant availability. If someone needed help, I showed up. If they needed money, time, attention, I gave it. I wore myself thin and told myself it was kindness. What it really was fear. Fear of disappointing people. Fear of being seen as selfish. I learned the hard way that saying yes to everyone is the fastest way to abandon yourself. I was exhausted, quietly resentful, smiling on the outside and drained on the inside. Now I say no, gently, honestly, without apology, and the people who truly care understand. The ones who don't were never asking out of love anyway. The final thing I stopped was waiting for life to begin. For too long I treated joy like a reward for endurance. I told myself happiness would come later, after milestones, after responsibilities, after someday arrived. Someday is a dangerous word. I postponed trips, I delayed pleasures, I saved moments for a future that wasn't guaranteed, and I watched people I loved run out of tomorrows. Life doesn't wait for perfect timing. It moves forward whether you're ready or not, so I stopped postponing. I say what needs saying. I do what I can while I can. I don't assume there will be another chance. This life isn't extended by miracle cures or rigid rules. It's extended by letting go of what slowly kills you, night by night, thought by thought, choice by choice. I've seen enough endings to know this. You don't need to overhaul your entire life. You just need to stop feeding the things that are draining it. Now, if you'll excuse me, the light is settling low, and there's nothing in the world more important than being present for it.